Hi, everybody. Dr. Charlton here again. Today, I want to talk a little bit more about design. I have a scenario where I'm just going to use a scenario from my one of my classes. So we have a class that is their client is a dance studio that puts on a Nutcracker performance every year. So I want to go ahead and look at possibly designing a new flyer that could be hung up around town to advertise and promote this event. In the past, they've focused very much. If I can pull it up, let me see if I can pull up what they're currently doing, which is they have this ad type thing that's very performance oriented, and it shows the elegance of the dancer. Let me see if I can even find their Nutcracker. Oh yeah, here we go. So you can see it's very performance oriented. You have this elegant dancer with the shoe and everything, the ballet shoe. And there is a Nutcracker, but he's very much downplayed a little bit. Even the colors don't really indicate a Nutcracker with, the typical red and black you'd expect, where the colors, they have these purple fonts. So, what I would like to do is go to something more festive and more like holiday oriented to kind of get people excited about this type of event. So I'm going to, just like totally redesign it. So my first step in this is well, let me just go ahead and grab this. First of all, let me see if I can get a bigger image of it. No, I don't see anything like that. Let me see if I open a new page, if it comes up bigger. It is bigger. This is perfect. It's actually much bigger. So I'm gonna go ahead and get this picture to start with so that I can reimagine it. So I'm gonna use a tool called Gravit, and I am going to go ahead and just add this page in there. Gravit is a web design tool that you can access on the web. It is not as full featured as Adobe Illustrator, but it has the main things that I like to use. And so it just makes it so I can do it a lot faster than Adobe Illustrator because it doesn't have all these extra things and options and stuff getting in my way. So I can design much, much quicker. And then if I need to do something really complex, I can try Adobe Illustrator or another tool. So I pay $49 a year for this tool. And there is a free version. It just limits that you can only output a PDF. So if you're using this for class, the free version could be sufficient because you can either get the PDF output or you can just do a screen grab of this image. So it should be workable with the free version. So let's see. So this is our starting point. Again, it's all purple and dance. This is like the prima ballerina type, approach to it. So I want to see if we can get like a more festive holiday kind of approach. So first of all, I'm gonna see if I do a search for a Nutcracker flyer, see what comes up. I'm gonna try to get ideas from a bunch of sources. You can see these are very much holiday themed. I like how this one here is like holiday themed because you have the snow, but yet it still highlights performance and the precision of the dancer as like this one does. But then you kind of have both. You kind of have the best of both worlds. This is for auditions, but I do really like this one personally because it really gets at the theme that I want to. I mean, it just says holiday all over it, but at the same time the precision is there, the elegance. So this is perfect. This one does it. I like the other one a little better, but this one I feel like is holiday oriented as well, but also, so you see this kind of thing, and it's like this experience, it's like this holiday magical experience is what I'm kind of going for. So I like this idea. I'm gonna go ahead and open image in new tab. And then for that other one that I really liked, same thing. Let me see if I can. I'm not going to rip off all these people's stuff, but I'm just looking for inspiration so I don't have to start from a completely blank slate, if that makes sense. So I have a couple of inspiring type things. Now, I was thinking I would like the Nutcracker, just the big Nutcracker, but now that I see like the options and I see that you can be Christmassy while still focusing on the artists that are actually in it, and just have even with the little Nutcracker, I see that that works. It's just I feel like it was maybe a little misapplied the way we had done it in the past, but I could see that that could work really well. Um, this has all of the performers in it, a lot of performance, so that's interesting. Uh, see, that's very Christmassy. It's this is not a very clean design, but it is Christmassy. It does get at the kind of thing I wanted, right? Um, and then here's like a very elegant one. Here's where you go the opposite direction, more like we've done with Twin Cities in the past, and just focus on elegance. But it's less elegant by this logo that has a white background. So I wouldn't do that. I wouldn't do a logo with big square white thing on this. But other than that, it looks pretty good. Here you have a very holiday theme with like a custom decorated lettering. That's really fancy. I love the custom lettering in the custom illustration. This is like really nice too. I like this, but it would be hard for me to replicate that. This is the kind of thing that's like takes a lot of custom illustration, right? I mean, you see the custom lettering, that's a big job. So I'm probably not going to try to be that bold, but I do like it. Let's see this one. I'm just trying to find ideas for ads that get at the theme and the feel that I want to go for. And like this, it's like the magic, it's like I want the holiday magic, not just the precision and stuff that we're kind of emphasizing before. So maybe one of the biggest problems we have is probably the purple lettering. If I could go for some more holiday theme lettering, but even this is holiday theme, but it's still purple, so it's interesting because they have the holiday type Christmas type symbols. So, but yeah, this I feel like this is really elegant, which they like. I mean, which they're going for, but and at the same time, it's um, definitely has the holiday magic. So, yeah. So anyway, I'm just trying to get some inspiration here from different. You can see. So this kind of is not my typical forte because you can see with a lot of these fonts, they're very decorative. And typically, my background, I've worked for a lot of corporate type things where design is very minimalist. So, I'll do my best, but you may have better luck finding the right fonts and, doing designing this than I might just because this is a little bit out of my comfort zone, but I will do what I can here. And I'll give it a go. Let's see, here's another one. You can see like, getting this is not the best design either because these characters are kind of floating kind of badly photoshopped on here, but it's good because it does get at that holiday magic a little bit. Um, and I just feel like when you just have the Nutcracker on here, it's not as clear that it's like the actual Nutcracker ballet. And so I like having the artist on there actually performing. Um, so anyway, that's kind of my direction with it. That's fancy. Very holiday oriented, but also I like how they bring some of these that do a really good job of bringing the holiday magic, but then they also have the artists doing their thing, which is really cool. Wow. Some of these are just really well done. And, it's going to be difficult to match some of these design elements. But again, I keep going back to this original one, like the snowy kind of background with these aspen trees or whatever. I can't tell what kind of trees they are. Obviously, I'm not a tree person, but they're not aspen trees. But I don't know what they are. They're nice, pretty trees. So again, I'm gonna go to my favorite. I'm gonna go to my favorite website for getting stock photos for free. Unsplash.com. You can see that it is the internet's source of freely usable images powered by creators everywhere. And I'm just going to do like a snowy trees background, see if anything comes up that I can use. Um, like a snowy village type thing. I wonder if you could do, if there's like a snowy village. Snowy village. This is really cool. This is like right out of the movie Frozen, I think. It looks like. Um, yeah, I don't know. I might not be able to get free stock photos to do what I like, but this is actually pretty decent. But it's just like, this is definitely like pretty high end photography. This one that I'm interested in. I wonder where they got that, from what stock. They probably bought that. That's probably like a paid for stock photo. So I'm trying to see if I can kind of closely match the quality level for free, which is can be a challenge. Well, if I don't find it, what I can do is I can go to a stock photo website and they'll let you get an image with like a watermark on it so that you can kind of do a mock-up, and that might be what I'll resort to. So I'm going to go to iStock, which is again paid images. Shutterstock is another one, and I'm going to see what I can find in here. Snowy trees type thing. Okay, let's see. Yeah, I mean, you can see I got a lot better choices when I'm willing to pay for it, which I'm not willing to. I want something that I can see putting my dancer. I like the vertical nature of a lot of these. I want to do a vertical. So let me go ahead and start creating my artwork. So I'm going to do a new design, and I'm going to select a print size, and I'm going to do US letter portrait. So that's what I want. I kind of want an 8.5 by 11, just a typical like a copy paper size, vertical. Now I need to find a picture that would kind of look good vertically. A lot of these would look really good horizontally, right? But I want to try to find, and you can crop them. Like I could just take this middle section and then it could be a vertical one. So I'm just gonna try to see what I can find here. I really would like to see one that's already like a nice looking picture in its vertical form without having to crop it. Because what happens is when you go to crop things, a lot of times they just don't look as good when you've totally changed the composition of the photo by cropping out a whole bunch of the background. So ideally, I could find one that looks good already in its vertical form. I can actually change my search too to go with vertical images and just start there. That way I'll have, and this is decent. This could be the one. Let me just look through a few more. This is not, this ad that I'm about to do is not going to be perfect, right? Because I'm just trying to give you an idea of how to use these tools. And so I'm not going to spend all day like perfecting it. So I'm just going to have to do what's good enough. And I think this picture is maybe going to be what's good enough. So they'll let me use this image with the watermarks based on the assumption that I'll, buy it before I really use it in a real ad or whatever. So I need to kind of stretch it so it fills up that space. All right, so there we go. There's our start. It's nice because it's a nice white background, so you can see how some dark text would lay over that very nicely. And then I can put, hopefully my dancer holding the holding the nutcracker in the front here. But I'm probably not going to find a dancer on a transparent background, and so I'm going to have to probably crop that And then I want to, if I crop it, I want to make sure the lighting matches. So I'm trying to see where the shadows come from. It looks like the light is coming pretty much. You can see there's a light back here with this sunset type thing, but that looks kind of added in. Honestly, it looks like the shadows are kind of straight down. You can see straight down, straight down. Actually, it's a little bit this way. So really the sun should be up here. This is the fake sun. So there should be a sun up here. So if I get a picture to put on here, I want to find something where the sun is, yeah, it's tricky because, right? Because you have the fake sun and then you have the actual sun. And so I want to find a picture, hopefully a picture that's like neutral where maybe light is hitting them from different directions. So you can't really tell which way the sun is hitting them. That might be best. So if I go look back on their website, I'm going to see what photographs they have. Sugar Plum and Cavalier. Okay, they have a few photos here. I wonder, there's got to be a way to find more photos. That doesn't seem like quite as many as I was expected. Maybe if I click on this, no, it doesn't show more. Well, there's not really one I can necessarily use. Yeah, I mean, because I would love to have, like, see how they all have this Clara dancer holding the Nutcracker. And that's like a common theme. And that's even what, they all have Clara holding the Nutcracker. And that's what this is too. So I think, actually, this might be the Sugar Plum Fairy holding the Nutcracker just because that's the dancer they want to feature, possibly. But I would love to find like something like that here, but then I'm gonna have to crop them out of the picture, which is difficult, which is kind of a lot of work. So, but it can be hard to get around that too. Um, there's got to be. I mean, there are ways that I could just put in what they have and just use that, and kind of make that work for a design, but again, I mean it's probably like the kind of thing where we would probably want to do a photo shoot for this or figure out some kind of way to get some good imagery, essentially. um, I would love to find Claire holding the Nutcracker on a lighter background, because if I crop her out of a black background, some of the black might show up on my white background artwork. So I'm gonna see. Oh wow, this is has a transparent background. This is gonna work great for my mock-up, just for purposes of. I mean, I'm really using a lot of stuff that I don't really have the license to use, but I'm just demonstrating it, right? So yeah, so I have my ballet dancer, I have my Nutcracker, and this is just so convenient that happening to have a transparent background. Now, one of the problems that I do have is that she doesn't really look like she blends in here as much. The light is hitting her from a different angle. It's coming from over here. So I could possibly flip her around, see if that helps. I think that does help a little bit, actually, because the natural light is coming down here, and then they have this fake sun right there. But at least the natural light is coming at the right angle. I think that helps. The other thing is, yeah, she just looks kind of like tacked on. So I want to try to blend her in a little better. So one thing that I can do is maybe blur the background a little bit. See if that helps. Something you can try. I mean, it's not necessarily like a fix-all. But if you blur the background a little bit, maybe that makes her blend in a little more. I can try to do like I don't want a drop shadow. That's not gonna work because that will make this fake drop shadow will make it look like it's a wall back there. But if I do like an inner shadow, that could help. And I could like the color, I could do like a white type thing. Um, Let me show you the inner shadow. So I'm gonna make it just more. I'm gonna make it um, a lot more noticeable so that you can just see it. So that's the inner shadow. That's a blue one. And I don't want blue, obviously, but I'm try to see if I can kind of do like a white type thing. And then I'm gonna tone it way back. And then you can see it's kind of like this halo of white around her. And to kind of help her blend in a little bit better, but it's almost like it's like too much. Let me see if so it's still at 55 pixels. I thought I changed that to like 10 pixels. Let's see if that helps. It kind of has this halo of white. Um, I'm gonna make this more transparent too, so that halo is just a little bit less visible. Just trying to do what I can to make her blend in, look more natural in here. The other thing is I can kind of move her around so that, yeah, I don't know. I mean, this is not, like I said, I typically don't do this kind of design, but this is how I would do it if I had to. All right, so now we'll just call that good enough. Actually, I think I want to make her a little bit transparent just so she blends in a little more. I know that normally people are not transparent, but just trying to see if I can just make her blend in a little more in this image, like she belongs there. I know making a person transparent is a weird way to go about that, but I think it sometimes works. So, all right, I'm just trying to make her look like she belongs in this photo. It's difficult with the iStock, icons all around her, the watermarks, but I feel like she blends in a little bit more now. So yeah, so I'll call that good for the meantime. Now I'm gonna start designing, adding my lettering and stuff. So I'm gonna go ahead and grab their actual artwork that they had, and I'm gonna paste it on next to this side by side so that I can work on that, so that I can see what the text is that I should have. Okay, actually, that's not letting me show it because my it doesn't fit in my workspace because I forgot. Normally, I don't. A lot of times, I won't make a defined workspace, but this time I have. I've made it 8.5 by 11, so that's not showing up. So what I could do is just kind of make my screen smaller and do a split screen. And I'm gonna pull this out right here. And I'm gonna go back in to my artwork. Use my hand tool to kind of reposition. All right, so here's all the things that I need to have in it. I'm gonna start with the most important elements, and I'm gonna compare it to kind of my model here. So my model is this one, the Nutcracker Ballet. So I have to decide if I want to put the word ballet on it. They've kind of left that off. I like how they've got magical in there because that's the theme that I want to do. They've put their school name up here. This is just really excellent. I really like this. So I don't know if I can meet this same level here in my quick like tutorial, but I'll do what I can. Make her a little smaller so I have more room for my words. Okay. So here's some rules with graphic design. You want to leave a lot of space, like empty space is kind of our friend. So you want to, when I add a text box, you notice I'm leaving a really nice clean margin, outside here. This is going to be my title. I'll go ahead and start with that, and then I'll position everything around it. So I want to probably get a more decorative font. I want to make it bigger. I'm going to start with the bigger part. I'm going to do it 48-point font. And then I'm going to get some more Christmassy colors. Maybe I'll go with red. Wow, that really doesn't look very good yet. But hopefully when I'm done, it will. Maybe I can put a border around it like a uh, type gold type lettering type thing. Let me see. So gold is going to be like a orangish yellow, but then it's more to brown gray type thing. You can see it's starting to look kind of gold there. I don't know if that's going to look good. I can make the letters bold. Well, this is a start, right? I can make my gold thicker. All right, just a start. Hopefully we'll get it looking good. Need to find a more decorative font. But I want something still legible, right? Because this is the main title. And I don't know if I'm going to have a decorative font just in here because this is just my default um, fonts for this tool. But let's see what is in there. I don't know. I mean, I use a lot of sans serif, really plain fonts. This is Open Sans, which I love for most design. But obviously, if you're doing this type of design, you have to get rid of this. This border is making it look really blurry. I'm just gonna have to get rid of that. So get that back down to 0 for the border. All right, so yeah, you have to go more decorative. Obviously, when you're doing this kind of thing like this experience, this holiday experience, which is unfortunate for me because, like I said, I'm just really used to doing minimalist. I think I can get away with minimalist up here though. So I'm gonna do this 22-point font, and I'm gonna get rid of this border again. This is weird. Not gonna be bold. And I'm gonna do this in a different font because I feel like this Twin Cities Ballet doesn't have to be quite as legible. So I'm probably gonna do something more decorative. I'm being strategic about with my decorative fonts. I'm making sure that I am decorative when it doesn't matter as much, if that makes sense. I would trying to think what's another holiday type color. I mean, gold is, but it's not ideal for lettering, right? So it's also a little bit difficult for me to see how this would really look without these watermarks, unfortunately. Um, But I'm just trying to get at the idea of, just this holiday kind of feel. I'm gonna left, I'm gonna align both of these. Just make sure they're lined up to the left, which it looks like they already are. But you can see with these tools, I could line it up to the right, I could line it up to the left, and I could do a little bit of a drop shadow to make this stand out a little bit more. In this case, though, it kind of is blurring it, so it makes it look a little blurry. So I'm gonna throw that in the garbage. Sometimes it can help things stand out. I could try a white drop shadow, see if that helps. Helps it stand out a little bit. It looks like it did. The white drop shadow. You notice the gray one didn't really help, but the white one makes it stand out a little bit better. And yeah, I can go back down to 30. Yeah, so this is a start. I'm gonna do I like the white drop shadow. I'm gonna do that again here too. And I can make it sort of transparent. Just helps the letters stand out a little bit better. Blur makes the drop shadow a little bit bigger. Okay. All right, so this is a start. I feel like the red is a little bit too on the nose in terms of like holiday. I would love for something to be more like just not solid red, but maybe a darker, maybe like a little bit of a black tint to it. I don't know. Like I said, this is not my best thing doing this kind of, but hopefully I'm showing you how the tool works. All right, so let's see, what other information do we have? 38th annual, you have the location, um, Ticketmaster, you have this really big logo for this grant. Um, I'm gonna go back to Clara with, I guess this is Clara with the Nutcracker, and see if I can do like a color overlay. I think that's actually a fill. Oh yeah, that won't work because it just fills in the transparent background. So I'm gonna throw that away. That was a bad idea. But you can see you have a bunch of different effects here that you can draw from. And then if you don't like it, you can hide it or throw it in the garbage. Fortunately, that's not working right here, but at least I was able to hide it. All right. So, uh, I want to use a nice clean grid pattern typically in design. This is a little bit different because it's more artistic, but typically, like in a design project, we really are grid oriented. It's the modern design school of thought. So maybe I can do at least like 3 grids down here where it's like a bunch of information about the performance. So I'm gonna do a kind of a headline, which is gonna be this is gonna be maybe the information about the performances. Maybe make this font a little smaller so that it's one line. I think I don't want too much of this red because it's just gonna be overload. So I'm gonna go with just probably I'll just go with that gray for now. I can change it in a minute. And then I want to go back into my text box. let me click on it, but now I'm good. And then I'm just gonna add December 6th, 2019, December 7th. Now this price should probably be 2020, right? December 7th. Just what they have though. Oh, it's not good. All right. Now it'd be nice if I could consolidate this because you see how repetitive this is. So I could just say December 6th through 8th, 2019. It'd be nice if the times were the same every night. So we'll say they are 7 p.m. An auditorium. Okay. This would be wider. Needs to be wider because I have a lot of information I would like to get on one line with like this time. And then I would like to get Illinois State all in one line. Okay. Make the title bold. All right, and then so a typical grid, I could copy this, paste it, and then I'm gonna put it over here, kind of like, and then I'm gonna flip it. Okay. Now, one of the challenge, now I'm gonna align these vertically. I'm actually gonna align the bottom of them so that that one drops down. Now you can see it's hard for me to eyeball the sides here to make sure the sides are right. What I'm gonna do is I'm gonna put a box. So I'm just gonna make a quick, this is kind of a cheater. Oops. This is kind of a cheater way to do it, but I wanna make sure my spacing away from the side is the same for both sides. So I have this box. Now I'm gonna move it over to this side over here. And then I'm just gonna, I'm just using this box to kind of make sure I have things aligned right. You can see how that works. Get rid of this. Now, one problem I do have is that the text over here, you can see has like kind of this black background. So I might end up having to add like a white stripe over here. And this is going to be different information on the right. I'm just working on my design here, but that's not going to be the actual text that I'm going to have over there. So I can make this also like partly transparent. So change the opacity. That way you can read the text, but you still see what's going on behind. And I can maybe move her so she doesn't get her foot cut off. You don't want that. And anyway, this is, this takes some work to get this right, but I'm kind of modeling off of the one I like, and I'm trying to, keep my nice grid pattern. So you can imagine over here on the right, I'm not going to obviously repeat the same information, but I'm going to consider what information I do want to balance out with it. So this could be like the school performances. And then it could have some information about that, maybe the time and place and the location, but then also it could be like, say one more thing like children or something. I don't know what it would be, but then you can see we're kind of running into problems with space there. So I might have to shrink all these fonts. So I'm going to go to like a 14 point because I want to have like a nice margin. I don't want my fonts to be like butting up against any of the edges, right? I want to have them like nice clean space. I still have a lot of stuff to add in there, so I might try to see like if there's anything that I can just do away with, if there's anything that's like unnecessary. I can resize, I can rearrange this possibly. Put it over here, left justify it with the words vertically stacked. I liked it all the way across, honestly. um, but this is kind of essentially how to use this tool to do a little graphic design. So my goal is I want to have a new poster that's more like has more of the holiday magic. So maybe I also need like a Christmas ball kind of thing. So if I do a search for a Christmas ball, no, this is just a mock-up, so I'm just like borrowing whatever's out there. And normally I would make sure I have the license to use it. I could get something from stock, from a stock photo website. But in this case, like I said, I'm just trying to hurry up and mock it up for you, so you don't have to sit here and wait while I figure out licensing agreements. So I do have this, some just a little something to make it add some holiday magic, maybe. And I could, use this to like kind of balance out with the rotated, of course. Try to rotate it, and then this could maybe be moved over. Actually, I could try to put that in the middle too. I'm just trying to, do something else to get my theme, which is like holiday magic, and I want to just, really drive that home. So I added this little wall. Now I can, once again, to try to make it blend in a little bit better, I can actually make it slightly transparent. I can, I can also do the, like I showed you, not the fill, sorry. I want to do like an inner glow type thing. I don't see that option popping up. Here we go. Inner shadow. And I'm going to do an inner shadow that is like the same color as the background. And then it kind of just blends in a little bit better. Possibly. I mean, you don't have to do that, but I'm just trying to figure out ways to make it like match it, the style a little better. And then, actually, I kind of want a gold one. So I'm going to keep looking. Let me search for gold. The red that does balance out with the title, but it's just it's kind of too much. So I'm trying to find one that has a transparent background, which I think this does. We'll see. No. All right. Yeah, I just really don't see one that has a transparent background. So I'm thinking I'm just going to grab one with a white background for now. And just so I'll have something that I can use to finish this up. Yeah, I don't know. It's just not doing it for me. I just really would love to have something though to like just have a little bit more Christmas spirit. There we go. Some kind of Christmas decor. This will have to work, I think. I'm trying to just bring a little more Christmas magic to my design, if that makes sense. I don't know if that does it. But this is my effort. All right, so you can kind of see, I want to just talk about a few things about this and about some of these designs. So typically, modern design is very minimalist, lots of blank space, nice and clean. Now we're doing a flyer for an event that is much more elegant. So we have to kind of shift away from modern design principles that like big corporate design principles and kind of use cutesier design kind of elements like this ad. So one thing you do see a lot of empty space, which I like. There's some empty space. It does have a lot of background in it, so it's still a little busy, but there's a lot of empty space. A lot of this wording is kind of crammed in here. So if there's any way that any of this could be left out, that's ideal because it's hard to, if it's just hard. If you have a lot of words, it's really hard for people to take it in. Sometimes you just don't have the choice though, because this has all the information they need to audition. Um, let's see. I really like this clean design. So this is like very modern with illustration, illustrated letters, custom illustrated. Just shows that extra effort. This is definitely like what I'd consider a high-end design because of the custom lettering that's hand drawn, and then everything is nice and neat with nice big space around it. You see the gridding is implied on the bottom row with the times, separated out by those vertical lines, which is really nice. You can see the balance and the symmetry between those elements right below the Nutcracker logo. The Jenny T. Anderson Theater is balanced with For Tickets Visit, blah, blah, blah. And you can see up at the top, they actually have a logo for their dance troupe, which is balanced on the other side by their sponsors. So you can see the balance, the symmetry. It's all just really well done and very modern and just eye popping. These colors just pop. So this is probably one of the most high end ones that I've seen so far. But yeah. So anyway, this is an example of maybe I could put it up here. I don't know. This will just take some effort to find the right artwork for this piece, right? But I do. But the point is, I do need to bring in more elements that are more holiday oriented and get them in there and include them. So the way I can see if has a transparent background is when it pops up here in Google Image Search, it should have like a grid pattern, but it should be white when I'm not in that Google Image Search, if that makes sense. Should I show a white background here? But then, yeah, see, there you go. That's one that I could possibly try too. I'm gonna get rid of this like spider type thing. I wonder if I could copy this and have more multiples, and then one of them I could adjust the coloring of it, so I could adjust the hue so that it's like purple, reddish, and then I could do one more maybe and do another color and do this one again. I'm going to go into the color adjust hue, and I'm going to go the other way on it. And then I can kind of resize these so they're sort of at different distances. This one front, back. I mean, these are all obviously like copies of each other, and that kind of is evident, unfortunately. But this is how to use a graphic design tool. So maybe I can drop them in right there. Sketch that guy. I don't know. Just trying to find something to make it stand out a little better. as a like holiday oriented type thing. Maybe I could use like clearly holiday colors, green instead of purple. I could go with a red. And a gold maybe. Okay, well, I don't know. I don't know what. I mean, somehow I need to make this more like holiday oriented, but a lot of times I'll add in stuff like this and just hate it. Like, I'm not that excited about it, honestly. But you can see my goal here is to make it more holiday themed, whether it's adding red ribbon and, etc., whatever it is. If these shapes here don't look like they really belong, I could add possibly a drop shadow or, or I could do the inner shadow or possibly like make them a little bit see-through, and have a little bit of opacity just so they blend in a little better. So I have a lot of options here, but yeah, that's basically how to use this tool to design a flyer. And my goal again was to make it more holiday magic type theme. So you should have an idea. You should look at a lot of other examples of different ads that you like. So you have an idea, you have a theme, you know which direction you want to go with it, and just go for it. Definitely keep in mind some core principles, like try to put things in a grid pattern. Again, there was that high end design that really did a good job of gridding everything out. You can see the nice, neat grid, the symmetry. So keep that in mind. And empty space is our friend. We want a lot of empty space. It makes it much more clean, easy to take in. And you can see they've also used a lot of sans serif font, which is very much modern, professional kind of design. It's not sans serif here, obviously, in their hand drawn lettering down here, but the rest of it is. And that's kind of what we typically expect to see, unless you're doing something really decorative or elegant like this, then you might deviate from that. But you wanted to use like really clean, blocky type stuff. Anyway, so that's kind of basically like all I wanted to show you about this design of this ad. And I am going to try one more try to get this right. Maybe if I can decrease the saturation quite a bit. I don't know. No, that didn't work. I think I just need to get rid of that. And I think I just need to figure out some way to bring in some ribbon or something Christmassy to like have that holiday magic. Maybe it's a different background image or whatever it is. Let me look at my model that I was using to do this. I think, the one thing that really helped here was her colors on her outfit is very Christmassy too. So that's an advantage she has over this image that I have, which has a lot of blue. It's maybe not as Christmassy, but anyway. And maybe it's like this stripe down here. Maybe this stripe, instead of being white, maybe that should be a Christmas color, like a Christmas ribbon type thing. You could imagine how if this was a Christmas ribbon with lettering on it. I'm going to try that really quick. Red ribbon background, or just how about just red? gradient. I could almost just make my own gradient too. Like if I just select this box, I'm going to get rid of the opacity and I'm going to go up to the fill. Sorry. Click on this. I'm going to do not a color fill. I'm going to do a linear gradient. And then I'm going to do like red. And then on this side, I'm going to do more red. In the middle, I'm going to do some like dark black type stuff. And then I'm going to do more red. And this dark black, I'm going to make it less dark. Just trying to make some kind of ribbon type effect. Maybe less dark. Maybe lighter. There we go. I've got some kind of ribbon look going there. Then I can change this to white text. Yeah, there we go. That looks a little bit more holiday oriented. Now if I had like a gold border around this, I don't know. I might be getting carried away with the gold border. That might be just me just wishing that could work. We'll see. So I'm going to put it here between kind of an orangey type thing. Trying to find a gold. I think it needs to be a little more yellow. I don't know. That's going to probably be gold enough. I'm going to do it a 5-point background. I don't like having, you want to have a thing bleed off the edge. For a flyer, you don't want to have a border like around the edge of the art, because what happens is they cut it at different, like the cut isn't always perfect. So sometimes they might cut off your cool border that you make. So you don't ever want to put a border to the edge of your artwork, if that makes sense. Like you don't want a border around here if it's going to be printed out, because then you're assuming that they're going to cut it perfectly. But in actuality, the cut could be a 16th of an inch or an eighth of an inch off, and they could totally hack off your border and then go beyond your border on the other side. So you don't want to have a border, any kind of like solid border around the outside of the artwork. All right, so that does look a lot more Christmassy. That's kind of more what I was thinking, what I was hoping to do with the little ornament type thing. So I feel like I'm getting closer to what I want. But anyway, and I could even, this border, I could even match it on the top possibly and have, why don't I just try that really quick? So I have it on the top now, and I'm going to make the top border bigger. And then this Twin Cities Ballet type thing, it has some effects around that make it harder to see. So let's see. That's still pretty hard to see. Can you even see that? I might have to go lighter. But still gold, but lighter, right? And then the Nutcracker Ballet has some weird effects around it that I'm going to get rid of because they're making it hard to see. Okay, now I may want to stick with red, but just go lighter or white. Yeah, I think I would just want to go, maybe not solid white, maybe like, it feels like a silver type thing. Silver and gold. Hi, now I feel like I'm really capturing that holiday theme that I wanted, so I feel really good about that. And I have some nice, bold, solid backgrounds that I can do my artwork on, like that I can do my lettering on, so it's not blending in with the image. So I am feeling a lot better about this. I feel like it's going in a good direction. So I still have a lot of text that I need to get over there. I need to see if I can drop any of this text, and I need to transfer some of the rest of it over. So it remains to be seen whether I will run out of space. But one thing I can possibly do is drop down to a smaller font here. So I'm gonna go with 9. That might be really small, but I'm gonna try it. So I go with 9 there. And then rather than, I'm going to do them all left, justified. Now I'm going to shrink. I'm going to do this. I'm going to do this a cool grid type thing. I'm going to do a triple grid. So then I can sneak some more information in there, right? And I want to definitely align the top. I want to do the distribution in between, make sure the spacing in between these elements is the same. And then I feel like I can go up a bit in terms of the font size. I'm going to try 11 point and see what that gets me. 11 point font, that's kind of big. Let's try 10 point. 10 point. And so then I can fit more information in one of these boxes here. The school performance thing, I might be able to just make like a footnote here, like and then just do the December 7th 2019 at 12 and 2 p.m. And then I'll just like I guess I'll take off the year. It's by cheating, but you know, just trying to make this work. Okay, then I'm gonna bold this. All right, so then now I have two boxes where I can add more information and stuff, all the relevant information. I want it to be the 39th annual because this will be for next year. So I'm gonna go ahead and get a text box and put it right here. And let's see, do 39th annual right there. And then I'm trying to decide what font I want that in. I think I want that. I actually think I want to go dark with that one. 39th annual. And then I want that to actually be like italics. Does that make sense? I don't know. Or maybe it should match the coloring of these letters. 39th annual. Yeah, I don't know. It just doesn't look right. I maybe need to get creative with my fonts here and do like a script type thing, a more decorative type. I wonder what did I use Parisian here? So this is Parisian as well. I don't know. I mean, I don't want to go too overboard and have too many different kinds of fonts. Let me go back to the Open Sans for a minute. If I can find it. It's after M, after N. There we go. Well, maybe I'll make it smaller. Yeah, I don't know. I think it looks okay. Maybe it needs a little work, but it looks okay. All right, so this is gonna be my design. You can see I have my nice clean grid pattern down at the bottom. I have a lot of empty space. You can see at the bottom I don't have as much empty space as I would like because I'm trying to squeeze a lot of information in there. Sometimes you got to compromise. And even at the top, I don't have the empty space that I would like. I would like maybe some more space underneath this title, but so maybe I'd play with it and try to get it right. Maybe I might have to make a smaller title. I don't know. But, you know, definitely like playing with it. The other thing I probably want to make sure this title is like centered. I think it might look the best if it like actually is centered. So I'm doing that now. Make sure it's perfectly centered. Um, and yeah, I don't know. I'm liking it. I'm liking the direction of it. It definitely captures my holiday theme I'm after. It might need some more like green, like a green holly leaf or something up here, something more holiday-ish. Maybe I could try that. I'm not going to try that right now though. So this is my effort at making this flyer. hopefully it achieved the goals. If nothing else, hopefully you can see how to use this tool, this Gravit tool. It's very easy to use, very powerful tool for making mock-ups and quick ads and things like you might be doing as marketing professionals. So I recommend you checking it out and taking advantage of it. Also, the Adobe Suite is very powerful. So if you want to take it to the next level and also have some resume candy, definitely like get into the Adobe Suite and learn those tools as well. So that's all I've got for now. Please let me know if you have any questions, and I'll talk to you.